Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Backyard Bird Center. Welcome to the Thursday night live edition of Mark's Backyard Birds. On the road this week. I know the guys, you regulars, know about a month ago, I promised to have on Stan Tequila tonight for another conversation, and then we were going to talk particularly about photography. Well, you guys know how regulars know that I've been going through a family crisis here with our daughter, and I am now sitting in South Carolina. I flew out last week, a couple days ago, we are leaving in the morning, making our way back to Kansas City. So so we're obviously in a makeshift office, my daughter's spare bedroom, and using equipment. And I thought it was a little tricky if to try to have Stan on. Whoop! Here comes Lily Potter McKellar. Can I get my head out of the way? You see Lily? This is my grand dog, who's going to be traveling back with us tomorrow in the car. Yes, she is a beautiful dog.
You can't see her, he said, because it's that new
virtual background.
Yeah, so you're going to have to put her in your lap.
Oh, there she is. Yes, she's a King Charles Cavalier. Oh, and her head just got chopped off. Oh, no.
You need to turn.
Yeah.
There you go.
Say hi, everybody. Say hi. I am an extremely good girl. All right. There you go. Back to Melanie. Oh, my grandma. Oh. Believe me, she's a professional lap dog. She'd stay up here all night. She didn't. She is very good at it. So, again, welcome in. This is the Backyard Bird Center in my background. This is our home station. This is we're our business in Kansas City. It's a virtual background. That's why it looks so funny going in and out and everything. But we are live. We're every other Thursday. Welcome in, especially for you newbies, and also for you regulars. You know how this goes. We typically have a topic we talk about on the lives, but because of this strange situation we found ourselves in and being on the road, like I said, I didn't want to risk having Stan on and there being technical things go wrong. Sometimes I can have. So we're going to reschedule Stan. He's willing to do that. And he'll be on with us in a few weeks. We've got to get our schedules back together again here, and when we get back to Kansas City and do that. So I am Mark McKellar, but let's better start with that. The name's down there. I am the owner, and along with my wife, Melanie, who brought Sophie up. You can see her. I mean, Lily. Not Sophie tonight. Sophie's back in Kansas City with friends taking care of her. My wife, we own the Backyard Bird Center in Kansas City. I'm a wildlife biologist who studied birds for over 40 years now, and I love teaching. And the YouTube channel has given me an incredible avenue to share my love of birds and nature. And you guys are fantastic participants. These lives are great. You guys interact. You could have your questions ready for me, and I love it. So I don't even have any slides loaded tonight. We're just going to let this live program go to where you want it to go with your questions. So first thing we do, I don't know if you can hear Lily. She's out back barking right now. I'm going to go back up here and welcome some people in. We always start with that and give people a chance to get on. Like I said, we know that, especially Facebook is slower connecting than YouTube. Yeah, so we had to give time for people to get on. I see hi, Sandy from Kankakee, Illinois. Welcome in, a super regular. Hello, Andrew from Cincinnati, Ohio. Very, very good, very regular there. Hi, Miss Carrie. Carrie, of course, my friend and store manager at the Backyard Bird Center right there. Oh, Capturing Michigan, you have really been contributing some great pictures to the community page. Welcome in. Good to meet you. Now these guys are going to start telling each other hi. All right, I just get through these. There's Melanie welcoming in everybody in. Yeah, where? Okay. Oh, and this is Carol, Jan Carol. Okay, for you guys last time that I did the giveaway, and I said everybody enter the word sparrow if you want. If they want to enter for one of my very few limited copies I have left of my Winter Sparrows article, and Carol was the winner. There were 12 entries, and so what I did is I listed them all, you guys, down on the sheet of paper, and I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons player, have been for years, and I have a 12-sided dice. So for the numbers that I wrote your order in, and I rolled the 12-sided dice, and it came up, and Carol was the winner. She was number 3 on the list, and that was the number that came up on the die. So that's how I did that. Congratulations, Carol. I'm gonna try to get more copies of that article. I promise. On Alaska, Wisconsin. Welcome in. All right. Where am I? Yeah, I'm in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is where I am at this very moment. If you know, that's just south of the North Carolina state line. Yep, we grew up coming down here as kids. We grew up about 90 miles northwest of here, and we've been here a lot. And so, yeah, we invested in a property down here many years ago. How long?
Oh, God, like
30,
20 some.
20 some, 25. All right. Steve, hello. Yes, I will likely be passing very close to you. I have no idea what time we're going to leave here in the morning. We can get it when we can get everything packed and hit the road. I plan on doing 26 up through just west of Asheville. So and it just depends on the kind of time we're making and how many stops we have to make. We don't not sure about Morgan and traveling, how much she can tolerate. So we may have to make frequent stops. So we may be even spending the night there close to you, Steve, in your area, or we might be, doing well and make it past you. So hopefully we will get to connect on one of these trips for sure. Hello, Taylor Long, a regular contributor and a really good. He's one of my photograph birders on my trips that I do. The local store captures a lot of great photos for me. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, we're got a brand new set of tires on Morgan's car today. That was quite an adventure. Didn't know that was going to have to be done, but we had to do that. Thank you, Justin. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we're on the upside. Yes, Ruth. Ruth went by and saw Sophie today and refilled my bird feeders for me, and so she checked out, and now she gets to see Lily. She gets to see Lily on FaceTime at the store, and so does Carrie. Yeah, they all know Lily. Hey, Kurt, right down the street from the store. Hello, Rick. Yeah, we're not going to be getting close to you this trip. All things tell me to go through South Carolina and up to avoid the 40 through the mountains. So that's what we're going to do. All right. She is a very sweet dog. And I mean, I know I'm biased, but anybody who's ever meets this dog says the same thing. I mean, they are professional lap dogs. Hello, Jennifer from Kearney, Missouri. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Yeah, we feel like she's definitely on the upswing, but she's going to have to miss. The doctor wants her to miss 3 more months of work. I don't know if she can do that, but she's coming back to Kansas City with us and going to spend Thanksgiving and hopefully Christmas with us and continue her recovery there, be around family and friends. So, yeah. Hi, Denise from Western U.S. up in Washington State. I think another real regular, one of my West Coast. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, yeah. She kind of likes to pick on Sophie because she's a little bigger than Sophie, but Sophie just doesn't give her the time of day. What's gonna be the struggle is, Sophie wants to be up on the couch with Melanie or I, and Lily wants to be up there too. So they'll establish their boundaries, within the first couple of days. Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ellie. We'll see you in another week. I don't know how. Like I said, we're hoping to be back by Sunday. Saturday was our real hope, but I'm not sure. It may be Sunday. Hello from Ocala, Florida. Motto Bushbird. Now that's interesting. All right. Oh, missed the wrong button. That's the wrong button, Mark. All right. Yes, she is lovable. That's for sure. Yeah. Massachusetts. How Boston guy never returned after the summer lull. I bet a lot of them did go south. Yeah, you're right up there in that area where they mainly leave for the winter. You may have some seats still show up during the winter, but they're expecting some pretty harsh weather up your area this winter. That's what they're calling for, anyways. And the birds may be, already on the move. Hello, Brian Voorhees from Leavenworth, Kansas. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine. Yeah, it's I've made this drive so many times, folks. We've lived in Kansas City 33 years, and I cannot count the number of times I've driven from Kansas City to southeastern North Carolina or to Myrtle Beach. It's second nature to me. I will definitely do that, Rick. I appreciate it. Yeah, I said I know we'll be back through that way in the future. That just like I said, I think they're still working on all that there through the mountains. So, and I know weather. I know they got some weather up there in the higher elevations. Hello, Andrew, one of our original member to the members group, and he is. I'm sorry I didn't mention it. You got some more members showing up today. I want to thank them all. That membership's just an extra way to help support the channel and keep these videos coming. I really appreciate your dedication, Andrew. And he's got a couple of free gifts for being a member that long. Got him a free T-shirt and of course a copy of the article originally. John from Ocala. Yeah, I know you're John's from Ocala, but when those usernames pop up there, I don't know who we can do for sure. Walt Moody, welcome in. Oh, you're the Red Hills of Georgia. Absolutely. I'll be cutting through, just north of you. Welcome for another Georgia person. SoCal man here. Thank you, Frontier, for checking in. Yeah. Block him, Melanie.
I'm doing that right now.
Good evening, Mark and fellow birders from Belton, just south of Kansas City, in the south part of the city there. 18 hours of rain here in Kansas City. Will we see any birds? Yeah, you will. Ellie, they'll come in. That's especially you've got your patio set up, and so there'll be some shelter there for them to get in out of the rain. Oh, one thing I want to ask real quick, if you would let me, is anybody watching on a cell phone? I don't know, you can't see it on your screen, but I can. The new feature for the streaming program is they actually have the proper orientation now for both at the same time on YouTube, for the regular screen, but also on it should be much more easy to look at on a cellular device. So
that's how it looks on mine. So I don't know if it's my settings or what, but
I don't know. Have you looked on your phone? That's where it's supposed to be different.
I don't know where on my phone.
It's interesting. So like I said, it's something brand new, and we're hoping it works. And he will drop off Lily. Yeah, believe me, that offer is made by a whole lot of people to meet her. Here's another one. Are you on 26 and need a break? Get to the Asheville stop at Farmers Market and eat at the Moose Cafe. Got to write that down. Moose Cafe near Asheville stop. Okay. All right. Yeah, like I said, I have no idea what kind of time. Hello, Lisa from in Canada. Depending where you're near, I recommend some restaurants. Of course, you can stop. I've heard, yeah. There's somebody else today. When I was getting a tire changed, and I told him I'd be driving back, and the person in the waiting room says, they got a Buc-ee's up there. So, yeah, those giant stores. Here's another one, Melanie.
I'm looking. I haven't seen that. What is it?
I'm asking, are you Latino?
Oh, I was not that far.
Jake Thomas, have you ever commented that before? You see this one? What's George Lucas doing running a bird center? You have no idea how many times I've gotten that in my life, Jake, especially in recent years. Guys that drive through and might all say, God, Jimmy, tell you look like George Lucas. And so I get George Lucas comments frequently. So, no, yeah. You don't really regular free. Thank you so much. Excellent. I'm glad you're in. Hi, Brandy. Good. Yeah, Sophie's at home right now, and she is. I'm sure we got like 3 people coming by and checking on her, letting her out, and changing her water and all. But I'm sure she's lonely not being on the couch with me every night. It's just been she and I for like 9 weeks up until now. So, hi, Lisa, another of our members of the group here. What's it called?
The membership.
The membership, the YouTube membership. No, doing something different than that. Yeah, I don't know how they were doing this thing. This new with
It's a
with our streaming app.
And YouTube as well.
Yeah, and so there's something they're experimenting with, and it's so that people on cellular devices get a good picture, because usually it's just for your desktop and things, and so the orientation. So they tried. This is something new they're trying. I didn't realize they wouldn't cast on the television. I don't know. Let me see. No, I don't know if I can change that. That's just it. And once this has started tonight, I apologize. Justin, you were so generous. I appreciate that, and the gifts. You're awesome. That again, you guys. We talk about supporting the channel. You can support us via just watching the videos and commenting on the videos, liking the videos. You can support us with membership. You can support us via shopping at our online store. Shop.backyardbirdcenter.com, and they got all that connection. If you guys don't know, below the description of the video, when you first get into YouTube and the video, below it is a description, and it has all the photo credits and all the links to our websites and online store, and how you support us and follow us and things like that. So we really appreciate your support. Lauren and Tyler from St. Charles, Missouri, just over there on the other side of the state from us. Absolutely. North Carolina weather in the 70s. No, yeah. It's supposed to be raining a lot. Like Ellie was saying, I think from about maybe central Illinois over there. We may run into some rain. It depends on how long it takes us to get through there. But yeah, the weather's all wonderful here in this part of the state. That's for sure. Anna D, thank you, son. All right. Yeah, you're on the cell phone. All right. Like I said, this may be a one-time. If they may pull it, or we may have to do something different. But I did it exactly the way they wanted me to. 15 cedar waxwings today, plus a beautiful American goshawk. Ooh, that's one. I love goshawks. They're just, man, they're powerful birds. Yep, your pup's best friend. I like that name. Watch to comment and TV to see and hear better. Yeah, this is changing that. I'm watching. Yeah, you guys are in the same boat. Absolutely. That is exactly right, Frontier. That is from my friend Linda Williams here. I was on the board of directors with her at a nature center. She's a fantastic photographer, and she got that picture several years ago. But isn't that stunning? That Lincoln sparrow. Okay. Yep. I can see you. So going on always. Yeah, I don't know if I can change this. Let me try this real quick. Okay, let's see if that changed anything. I don't know that changed the broadcast. I've got your Eastern feed. Yeah. Yep, you guys down south are getting our birds. That's for sure. It amazes me how many warblers now feed at bird feeders in the southern states in winter. I've been hearing a rusty blackbird recently. Yeah, that's on the real cold, snowy times, snow cover, they'll show up under feeders more. The rest of the time they tend to stay back in the woods, but look for them along creeks. Rusties really like waterways. We get them up at Los Bluffs in the winter, in some of the more streamy type areas, not out in the open wetland, but up in where the creeks are back off the refuge. That's where we tend to see them up there. Absolutely. All right, we're going to need to get some questions going here. Shay from Aiken, you're not too very far. New customer, oh, that's right, Shay. Oh, we filled your order and we made a mistake, but we made it right with you, I sure hope. Welcome in. Okay, Jim I got a Jim from Tennessee. I got a Jim that checks in from Minneapolis. I got a Jim in Northwest Louisiana. Welcome in. Sometimes move in. Where my paint up here is too busy. That's good. Proof feeder is a better choice, it just depends on the feeder for sure. The cage feeders are the best. A lot of the squirrel busters that are spring at the spring, you can set them very light so that like one starling can hang on it, but two land on it and it's too much weight and it'll bring it down and they all flush. That can be effective, but keeping starlings out, the cage feeders are by far your best bet, Denise. That's, whether they're peanuts or suet or seed feeders, those cages are the way to keep them out. Casting from cell to TP works fine. Okay.
We've never done that.
Yeah, we've never done it, so I have no experience. Well, Janet in southeastern Pennsylvania, welcome. All right. iPad screen from left. Light button anywhere. Interesting. Melanie's checking all this stuff. The Lehigh Valley. Welcome, welcome. Goodness gracious, you guys are, I love it. I watch it on TV via YouTube. That's smart. Yeah, we do that now. My YouTube channel, I have playing during the day when we're at work for soothing with my soothing voice for Sophie on the couch and they're in her kennel. Yeah, we have it playing so she can hear me talking and kind of help her with separation. From San Diego, welcome in West Coast Johnny. Yeah, defrost, freeze. Look, birds are slow to return. Yeah, I mean it's still early in that sense. I don't know you guys. I'm hearing rumors of snow through around Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, pretty widespread, and colder temperatures in the east coming in after that. So you guys, your birds will be coming back in then. That's what the stress brings them in. Worst feature shy, then they can be. Yep. But briefly, never the redhead. And redheads are so acorn dependent, and if you got good acorn crops around, they've been storing acorns now for quite a while, and it's hard to compete with a good crop of acorns at your bird feeders. Now, they may eventually move in, and with stress that continues to increase. But my guess is if you don't have a good acorn crop this year, a lot of your redheads will probably move south for the winter. It isn't full screen, Emma. That's what you're showing, right?
I'm seeing, yeah. So just let me.
Melanie's going to get up here and try to.
Yeah, right.
Shari, do the edit thing maybe? Be patient with us here a second.
No.
Can I turn this off here?
No.
No. Sorry, that didn't work.
Okay, close that. Go to that settings.
Here?
Mm-hmm. Select which layout you'd like to use.
Okay. No, we failed.
Oh, hide vertical.
No, that just hides this. It didn't change it. Yeah. Tried that already. Flocks of grackle. Yeah.
That one right there. No. This.
That's what I was just on.
Oh, sorry. I don't know.
No, I think we're stuck with this for tonight at least.
Yeah.
I apologize. Flocks of grackles, yes. It depends on where you are with the grackle movement south. I mean, we've lost most of our grackles, that's for sure. And we won't see them again until late February, March in Kansas City. But you guys south, you tend to get them. And so it depends on where you are in that migration if you get them or not. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. I got a life for you guys. May saw that on the community page, but the king eider that Brian's referring to that has been at a lake just about an hour west of Kansas City. It's been there for now a good maybe a couple of weeks, maybe 10 days. King eiders, folks, that's a really good bird for this part of the country. Those birds nest at the top of the world. I mean, it's and for it to turn up in Kansas. I read from the Kansas birder, it's the first documented one in Kansas since 1947, I think. I mean, that is truly right now. You guys on the East Coast and the West Coast are ocean ducks, and so they turn up more likely as rare strays in those areas in the winter. I know we had one in coastal North Carolina many years ago, but that's a rare bird. And if you look it up in the book and you look at the pictures, you go, oh, that's beautiful. Well, it's a female. So look at the female picture. This wasn't one of the big stately males with the blue and the white and the bill, but nonetheless, it's a very, very good bird. And I don't get live birds in my area very often anymore. So I was truly excited to get out there. And a whole bunch of people have been out there to see it, including Brian. Got some great pictures. if we get a cold snap here in Florida, a relative thing, of course. No, does it spur the first? It just depends on how long and how severe it is. Food availability is a big thing. So even in the South, like where you are, if you've got suet out and put in good quality seed, they can survive. And for you, they can't go a whole lot further south without crossing a big body of water. So my guess is, they'll tough it out down there in your area if you get a cold snap. Oh, the peanut feeders are my wife's favorite. When we talk about types of feeders, I peanut feeders I really like. Suet feeders are not my. I just don't like dealing with suet. Some people do. They have their own homemade formulas. I understand that, and we sell a lot of suet. But in my preference, I prefer the peanut feeders over suet feeders. And I use the Squirrel Buster peanut feeder because I have to feed off my deck, and I do have squirrel and raccoon issues, and those feeders help me the most in that. So no, Melanie has always her favorite feeder has been the peanut feeders because the birds stay there longer on it, and they pack, and so they don't grab a seed and fly away, grab a seed and fly away. So yeah, no, I like um, feeding shelled peanuts. Okay, shelled peanuts are specialized food, and I have people who offer a ton of them. They just lay them out there and let the squirrels have as many, and the blue jays come in and get a few, and maybe a red-headed woodpecker or a red-belly might take one, or a titmouse. But what have always found, in-shell peanuts are fairly expensive. So they're if you put out 50, they're going to usually be gone by midday. But in an in-shell peanut feeder, they have to work so hard the in-shell peanut. Now the nutritional value is identical. There's no difference in the value of the food to the birds, but that in-shell peanut, it's instinctually for blue jays and red-headed woodpeckers, birds that stash food for the winter, and they'll take those in-shell peanuts off. They may eat one or two, but the next 30 that are there, they're going to take them and bury them. They're going to run and fly all over your yard, find a good place. You watch them, they'll stick that peanut down in the grass, and they'll reach over and grab a leaf and pull the leaf over on top of the peanut and fly away. They're the Johnny Appleseeds of the acorn and nut world. And blue jays, in-shell peanuts are just another part of that. That's what they do. Many of those acorns they bury grow up to be oak trees eventually. So they're great. But peanuts, it gets pretty expensive to let them just take and bury a bunch of your peanuts. So that's the ins and outs of eating in-shell peanuts. Good question. All right. So from north of Pittsburgh. Hello, Jordan. For a bit. MIA, yeah. I understand. I hope things are going well. I understand that. We've been in a pour here for the last 3 months. Again, just depending on where you are, in our area, we always call it the September slowdown. And of course, once the natural food kicks in from Mother Nature, the seeds, the berries, the acorns, all those things are dropping. Plus, there's still insects. And for us, it's like mid-September to the end of October. That's the slowest time at feeders, and people are always worried they've done something wrong and ran off their birds. Well, no matter, depending upon where you are, north or south of us, the timing of your September slowdown or October slowdown or even early November slowdown, it may be where you are right now, and it takes stress. I've always said that for us, the official bird feeding season is about the second week of November. It's when it kicks in. That's when we start to get our first, frost and freeze, and you get freezing and thawing, and seeds fall to the ground, and the berries start to dry up on the plants and all that. And then the colder temperatures, of course, force birds to find foods more quickly. And when it's very mild, they can search out safe food sources and diverse food sources. When the weather gets stressful, that's when they come into feeders much easier. All right. From Central Alabama, I have bluebirds nesting in my back. Yes, that is unusual for November. Now, again, I've never lived in Alabama, and I've lived in North Carolina, in southeastern North Carolina, and having bluebirds nesting this time of year would be unusual. Have they laid egg? Have you seen egg? I know they roost in the boxes at night, and so I get people commenting that they got bluebirds going in and out of their boxes, but I've not anybody told me. But you know, the temperatures being that mild, they may be pulling off a nest right now. It's full screen on YouTube. It is vertical mode like a phone. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to check into that next time. I may just turn that if they haven't sent out an update or something, we just won't use it next time. But figured it's because you're else doing it. And I, you know, it should look the same. It's got to be this setting thing. I'm sorry.
I think it's where in the edit we first went in, we didn't do something correctly.
Your blue jay plant peanuts mayonnaise. Yeah, yes, yeah. Peanuts will be growing up in your flower gardens and stuff. Yep. Yeah. My friend of mine years ago said this plant came up, and she was big into native wildflowers, and she said this plant came up, and I had no idea what it was, and it ended up being a peanut plant from a blue jay. Oh, I've never seen one. Yeah, that's gonna be peanuts. You know, peanut feeders and in shell peanuts. You know, they may help too, but they're not. I mean, they've never been as part. You know, you've heard me talk about redheads before. They're starlings are their mortal enemies, and if you're in an area that's got starlings, you know they avoid them. You know, they definitely don't mess hardly at all ever in urban areas anymore, just because the starlings run them off and take their nests from them. So, but again, and they're also very acorn dependent. So it's a combination of, do you have a lot of oak trees around you? And that may help. And if you're south, John, I know you are. Uh, Birds that move out of the north in the fall, and you know they have thousands and thousands of them pass like the hawk watch areas, moving south for the winter. Once they find a good acorn crop, they settle in. They don't go any further south than they have to. So if they're, you know, that may intercept them from coming down your way. It's a different info on about the shelf life. Yeah, see. Okay. What I have been lived by and have been told in my training and talking to my suppliers and my seed experts involved over the years for 40 years, the rule of thumb is never keep bird seed in a feeder longer than a month. And never keep bird seed in storage unrefrigerated or not in a freezer, not in longer than 3 months, because moisture is the enemy. And I know you say, well, my basement's really dry. I think, well, you risk the Mediterranean meal moths and, of course, moisture in the base. I have people say, I've got a bag of nitrate that's 3 years old. Can I still feed it? No. No. You know, so, and of course, the hard thing is we have a hard time telling if it's bad or not. But you watch birds pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it, and things like that. And you don't want to harm your birds. So, yeah, that 1 month, 3 month is the rule. All right. How did I get? Oh, I got jumped down here. That hatched in spring continue to come. That's right. Yeah, Andy. Yeah. Those little family groups of, and what happens this time of year where you get those family groups of bluebirds that, you know, the young traveling with the adults and still around, and then all of a sudden they join in with another family group because territories are broken down, and then you get northern birds that move down out of the much further north where the heart conditions are going to be harsher, and next thing you know, you got 25 bluebirds at your bird bath. And we see that quite regularly in Kansas City. They settle into areas that have really good soft mass crops, which of course are berries, cedar berries, and native shrubs and poison ivy and all those wild grapes. But that's the combination they're looking for. They're looking for soft mass fruit and also unfrozen water. One of the reasons why they call me Captain Water. Unfrozen water is so critical for birds in winter, and bluebirds are one of the prime examples of my bird bath. You know, I have a Ring doorbell camera on it, and I get 300 videos a day on that bird bath, and I'm telling you, fully a third of them are bluebirds that are coming in right now. They're just 4 and 5 at a time drinking water, so I keep water in it. Same for that come. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I got you. You prefer shelfing. Whichever I say, somebody's going to chime in and say it's the opposite for them, Ramona. Like I said, I've always had great luck with shelled peanuts in a peanut feeder. I also had luck with suet. I feed it both, and it just depends on my feeding situation and who the pests are. If the starlings are really bad, I just find that starlings are easier to deal with on peanut feeders than they are suet feeders. So yeah, I don't know that you can say one of them. They love them both. That's for sure. My screen is small, and the background is your story.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what it's supposed to be.
that the background's correct. I don't know why that it's not supposed to be small. You're very welcome. There you go. Like I said, remote. I did whichever one I said, I guarantee you somebody would chime because it's different everywhere, and people have, they absolutely. The word that comes to my yard practically eats the shelled peanuts first. Yep. That's, yep, for sure. I mean, peanuts, in Europe, I have cousins in England and everything, and of course, in bird feeding, and always read about bird feeding in here. Peanuts are the main thing they feed over there. I mean, they're high oil, high fat, high energy for birds, converts very, very well, and it's great, the energy source for them. And so birds love peanuts. It's just that they're not, seeds like sunflower is much cheaper to feed in large quantities. So I put a pump in my bird batch as this. Great. That will be a huge magnet for your birds. Absolutely. Our red-headed woodpeckers are juveniles, and yeah, the dark heads on them. Yep. They come out. He shot him. Kurt's posted videos of the juvie redheads on this bird feature. Previous to. Yep, common for them to. Well, not supposed to. And it's so funny. I don't know if you just watched my program I just did on aging and how hard it is to tell. Well, you can't tell once birds reach their adult plumage, and some of them reach them in months, and then of course eagles take 4 years and things like that. But once a bird reaches adulthood, you cannot tell how old it is visually. There's no difference. So you don't know how if that bird cardinal's 1 year old, 2, 6, 8, 9. You just can't tell that. And so typically, what happens with young birds, the adults will only tolerate them, especially dad will only tolerate the males around the mother for very long, and so they run them off. Now, does that mean that those birds that you're seeing are their offspring or somebody else's that have joined in? Those territories break down in the winter, and so yes, they can be feeding together. But when spring comes, dad's going to chase all of them away, and mom's going to chase the females away because they maintain those nesting territories very vigilant. So they should not be. That's how the system works, and you don't get that interbreeding very often. We peep, yes, shell is all you. That's right. That's right, Carrie. And we see it every year. Suet. Yep. There you go, Kelly. Yeah. I mean, every situation is different. I can tell you that. And you have confidence in what was worked at your system, and you stay with that. And that's just the nature of what we do. Yeah, like I said, and my end shells, I just lay in a handful out there every morning, and I'm telling you, the blue jays know when I'm coming, and I lay them out there, and they'll come in, and they'll clean out the 8, 10, 12 that I put out, and then they'll get more the next day. And then they'll feed on sunflower and other sources during the rest of the day. Running a heated bird bath first time. Good job. What I do, mine's deck mounted, and it's on my deck railing. Well, the corner post of my deck right there, I have screwed in. I have a Blink doorbell camera on the Blink outdoor camera on it, and you can get them, good deals on out there, 3 or whatever, and so it mounts real well. Just shines right on the bird bath. I got the morning sun at its back, and the afternoon sun's shielded by the house, so the image is always really pretty darn good. And then at night, I can get the raccoons climbing up there and drinking out the bird bath. Walking your newly adopted pup and have found, ooh, nice, and out of the tree lines. It's good sized woods then. Very noisy, and they laugh at you, don't they? Ah, that's good to hear. Yeah, we love seeing the pileateds. Blink cameras. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. These guys are. Kurt's a camera maniac right now. He's got cameras everywhere. Two male Belticus going at it for about 5 minutes. Short time later, one came back to the pond. Yes, they're pretty darn territorial. Belted kingfishers are. I just use a cheap generic outdoor camera from Menards. I've had it up for 4 years, Sandy. And what Mary, who's my guest on here every so often, she did. She bought a used Ring doorbell camera off of eBay or somewhere, that used one, and she's got that set up on her fountain. So yeah, it just depends, how picky you are about the quality, and color, and and in the streaming it can do things. It's just different features that'll appeal to you. It's been fairly slow here. Red belly Carolina Reds. It's just morning, afternoon. They'll be coming back. Yeah, you should be kicking in pretty soon for you, Jordan, up where you're at. I would think. My Mockingbird loves grape jelly, definitely. But he has to care for them. Yeah. They got a sweet tooth. That grape jelly sweeter, that's for sure. And placing the platform. I like, I cut raisins up for them in the winter, and I soak them in water. You might try that, and get them good and plump, cut them up in either halves or quarters, and lay those out there and see if he doesn't take to that, or she. Absolutely. My Blue Jays set in. Yeah, they can be demanding, those Blue Jays. You're right. They're ready. Yeah, they are great. Yeah, there's a lot of deals out there right now. Those Blink cameras are a really good deal. They run those specials every so often. You just keep your eye on them.
I just posted it.
Oh no, I just put a link in for it. It sounds like the 4th gen. Yep, regular peanut butter. Okay, makes it. Yeah, and as it is, I mix peanut butter with cornmeal or fine sunflower chips, throw in some raisins, and I do avoid the salt as much as I can. But I think the peanut butter is fine, especially if you mix it up to a crumbly consistency. There's some link Melanie just put up there for you. And by the way, if you click on that link and you end up buying it through there, we get a little tiny percentage of that to support the channel. Blue Jays love in-shell peanuts. Yeah, they're busy with acorns right now. Yep. I can't get any birds to eat cut up grapes. That's interesting. Yeah, I've never, Sandy, you probably heard me talk about it. I just don't have luck with fruit, period, very often. Obviously the oranges in the spring for the Orioles, but I've tried apples and things, and I've just not had very much luck with fruit, period. Wire mesh feeders for sunflower, etc. Could. I mean, the part of the passing the conjunctivitis along, Jordan, is, whenever, there's that crusty eye disease that the house finches get, and when they reach in to the port, they can rub that eye against the opening, that port on the feeder, and another bird comes behind them and reaches in and it rubs in, and that can help spread it until you clean it with a 10% bleach solution. So, yeah, maybe mesh feeders might do a little bit better job of that. Peanuts. Use unsalted peanuts. Absolutely. Yeah. And I try to talk about that, and Sandy, every year, especially during the holiday season, because people get gifted nuts and they're buying nuts, and they're putting out candied nuts and salted, yeah. Remember, we're talking about raw peanuts here, raw, unsalted, just straight raw peanuts. I have a guy who buys every year. I don't have the big Spanish peanuts like I used to, but there was a guy who used to come in every year and buy a couple of 10-pound bags of the Spanish peanuts from me to make his peanut brittle out of. I'm sorry, folks, these bird consumption peanuts are not handled with any, human consumption safety standards. And I'm like, I wouldn't, I don't, so don't try to gift me any of your peanut brittle, because I don't want to do that. So, acorns. Yes. Yeah, and a lot of that's raccoons, actually, Jan. The raccoons will bring up an acorn and their food, and they'll put it in the bird bath to wash it. They like to wash their food, so I guess that might be what it, or if it's fallen directly from a tree, of course. That's seed logs. Yes, gelatin is fine. Yep, just regular plain gelatin. Yeah, to hold the seed mix together. Well, okay, where are we? We are. I guess I've been answering all along. You guys are just. That's what we wanted to happen tonight. And whatever topic, we allocated an hour, and then believe me, after this, we got to go pack. We've got to get ready, stuff ready to load in the car first thing in the morning. So, what else have we got going on? Kurt, we have crows leave us presents in our bird bath. Yes, they will do that. That is for sure. And people ask, how do I track peanuts? And the only thing I can tell you seed wise, I always tell you people turn your trash can over and you can attract them. But in shell peanuts is the one thing that are recommended. If they will take advantage of that, maybe. I wanted to share. I use unsalted peanut butter. Yeah, it's available. That's for sure. Ziploc bags, rolling pin. Okay. Sorry, getting there kind of dry on the hand. Yeah, and of course a lot of people, and they train their blue jays to eat out of their hand, and even mockingbirds they eat out of their hand, and they will come in. Yeah, thank you, Jan. Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Yeah, that's next week, isn't it? But everything's been going on with our family. It is really snuck on us this year. Top left. Oh, thank you, Ellie, for reminding. Remember giving us a like, sharing the program with your friends afterwards, making a recommendation. Like I said, the comments are always helpful to us because YouTube wants to know people that are enjoying my content. That way, they recommend me and push me out more. And I promise we will definitely have this video situation when we're back home in the regular studio. And I apologize for you guys that are having to watch it on a reduced screen tonight. Anything that they can inconvenience. So I will definitely see. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to keep things. Hopefully, like I said, I've done it so many times, and I don't think it's supposed to be any harsh weather. And if the worst we get is rain, I'm fine with that. I really would like colder temperatures. That's for sure. Are cooked okay. Raw is I don't know if I've ever done cooked peanuts, but are talking about like baked in an oven type cooking? You're not talking about boiling them. Yeah. So I just always just use raw peanuts in the purest form. That's our source for them. All right. Thank you, Jordan. Yes, thank you so much. We've done it so many times. We'll put a book in on tape. I think Mount Morgan has loaded up for us the what's it called? The slingshot or Hail Mary, the Hail Mary effect, whatever, the guy who did the Martian book. We're going to be listening to that and listening to music, of course. You're welcome, Frontier. The day in the fed birds from my hand hosted by yeah. Those park birds get used to people feeding them. Thank you, Ramona. I appreciate you joining in. Yep, it's like I said, we have a lot of fun. You can tell the people that we've made friendships on here from across the country, and I love it. Aspect fence feed with fine chips. Oh yes, they're very. I tried. We try so hard at our store to educate people that fine chips are so much better than Niger. It's much more widely accepted, much more nutritionally valuable for the birds. And once people switch, honestly we sell very little Niger at our store anymore. After 23 years or 30, whatever, how we've been longer, 23 years of educating and converting people. So yes, I'm telling you, the fine chips are much better received. A whole other perspective versus feeders. All right. That's what we're about. The people on here, they're all, so many of them are really, really experienced. Yeah, absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. Enjoy the parade. There's a couple of good football. The Chiefs are playing the Cowboys, I think. Yeah, we got to get past the Colts this weekend. I will kiss the fur babies for sure. And just training versus evil. I'm not the craziest about it, but as long as you don't harm them, and some of them never do actually get used to it. But birds like chickadees are so brave. They're the easiest ones to train to do that. And it's up to you, your personal choice. You're not going to harm them, but I don't think that. I don't know how that could really be dangerous for them very much. I don't know people that do it often, so. you believe a person needs to live like that simply.
I think I deleted that one.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. We're going to sign off and, like I say, get packed up, more packed up, and head out tomorrow morning. On the way,
Hey, hold on a second.
looks like we're going to be heading through South Carolina.
Lisa, Working with Bulldogs, has a question about habitats with woodpeckers. Can you scroll down to her?
Oh my! All of a sudden, 4 and 5 more comments jumped up there. Let's see. What's this one? Well, I appreciate that. Very complimentary too, Melanie.
Just go down
The answer is nature. Okay. Thank you, Sandy.
that one.
Oh, thank you, Denise. Absolutely. Could you please describe the difference in habitat between Danny and Great Harry's like forest more than? Yes, the way I have always viewed that is and observed it in my 40 years is that Harry's like larger trees and dead trees. Downies are much more flexible when it comes to the size of the trees and things, and more urban typically. Now, you guys up north, you have a lot more Harrys than we do here in the South. And by the way, thank you, Lisa, for joining. And so yeah, in habitat preference and again, remember, the larger the body size in the north, the more of an advantage it is to survival. That's why Harrys, I think, are more numerous than Downies up there. Downies are more numerous in the south. So yeah, I think when you're looking at the tree value, larger dead timber is an advantage for hairy woodpeckers for sure. Yeah, and Downies you can find just about anywhere in their range. They're just so adaptable. Yeah, yeah, Mike. They're one of the few birds, and even like white-winged crossbills tend to like Niger a lot, but they'll eat sunflower as well. And pine siskas are certainly one that have an affinity for Niger. Yeah.
It's going to be, you need to just end it. We're starting to get spam.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know who that is. Sorry, what that is.
All of a sudden, we're getting spammed with a whole bunch of.
Go pack, go! Absolutely. All right, guys, we're gonna log off. It was starting to get some kind of wacky stuff there. Thank you. Absolutely. Like I said, we have new videos every Monday night, and then a live every other Thursday night with a video in between. So keep joining in. Hopefully, everyone's subscribed. I'm sure you all have. Thank you, Jay and Carol. I know they got to go see that king eider. Thank you. Thank you. Make America. Oh God! All right, we're getting
rid of all that.
All right.
Take all of it.
You're very much welcome. Thank you, everybody, and again, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we'll see you on the next live in 2 weeks. And watch for the videos come out on Monday night. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good evening.